Hey guys, this is Anime Ballsy here, and today we are going to be doing the fifth part to What If Bardock Was Like Dr. GERO. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Wintertime, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Bardock falls to the ground and is gravely injured from that vicious stabbing. Blood loss is now life-threatening. Ice release systems will cool and seal the wound. Senzu bean will be delivered. He grits his teeth from feeling the cold cover his open wound, then the senzu bean stored in his suit is dropped into his mouth. He summons the little strength he needs to chew on it and just about swallows before he passes out. He's left unconscious there for a few seconds but jumps up to life from out of nowhere. Upon waking up, he backs away because he knows how dangerous Cell is now. After getting hurt like that, he knows there's no way he can win this battle. Speeding past him though is Tien. Aiming his Neo Tri-Beam at him, he hits it. However, Cell just closes his eyes and tenses up to take the attack. It hurts him, they can tell. However, it causes him very little to no injury at all. Cell then launches a quick beam of ki at Tien, piercing his whole body. Now, the android can't take this wound as easily. Tien is much weaker than him and stumbles before falling. He holds his chest in pain and notices an alarming amount of blood. Looking up again, he sees Nappa and Vegeta standing ahead of him. Back away, weaklings. We'll deal with him for you, Vegeta says. Don't think you're excused, you're all next, Vegeta shouts, turning back to Cell. So this is the perfect form that you were hiding. I don't see anything special about you, Vegeta says. Cell just laughs from his comment and ignorance and lifts off his feet. Flapping his wings and zooming forward, he lands a gut punch on Nappa. He's sent sliding back and even in Super Saiyan 2 is in great pain. He falls to a knee and then receives a heel kick to his jaw that knocks him down onto his hands and knees. Cell then turns to Vegeta and throws out a ki attack. A wave of ki and wind slams into Vegeta, lifting him off his feet and launching him. Cell then lands a snappy punch to Nappa's face, knocking him out completely. The giant warrior slowly drops, throwing out a cloud of dust from below. Turning back to Vegeta, he sees him flying right in his direction. He slips past his first punch before tapping away his next. Vegeta continues with all his speed and Cell can simply dodge or parry his hits. He's just so much faster and stronger than the prince that there's nothing he can do. As Vegeta aims to throw a hook, Cell catches his fist and headbutts him. Grabbing the neck of his shirt, he lifts before hurling him downwards. Vegeta harshly crashes into the ground, coughing out blood. You know what? I'm going to give you weaklings a chance. Go and make yourself stronger. Do whatever you need to do. In 10 days, I will host an event called the Cell Games. Bring the strongest warriors that you can to face me. If nobody can beat me, then I shall destroy the Earth, Cell states. He won't destroy the Earth, Bardock calls out in disbelief. Why would he destroy this planet? Where would he go after that point? He knows not to fight Cell, but he feels that he can test him on that claim. You think I won't? I don't need Earth to survive, I don't need this society. There's more beyond this lowly planet anyway, isn't there? Cell says, before aiming his hand downwards. A ki blast grows in his palm and starts releasing intense waves of air. No, I believe you, I'm sorry. Bardock calls out with alarm. Cell chuckles before destroying the blast. The group then huddle together. Vegeta and Nappa of course just fly off. They don't want to be a part of the group with the others. They have other matters to deal with. Future Trunks has just been watching this happen really. He hasn't been strong enough to have any sort of impact and it's so surprising to see the differences in this timeline. It's weird. He thought the only difference was his arrival, but he can tell that's not the case. Goku is called Kakarot here. Raditz is alive. His father, Bardock, is alive and well and is as smart as his mother but also a fighter. Of course he doesn't want to showcase alarm and make himself the center of attention for no reason. Therefore he just tags along to make sure everything goes as well as possible. Before anyone goes into the time chamber, Bulma and Bardock join forces. Bardock has several strong bots and training equipment. Only 2 people are allowed in the chamber, but since these androids are inanimate, they can place them in capsules for them to be used in that realm. He has autonomous bots that are very strong, that could challenge even the Saiyans when they're in their base forms. Raditz and Kakarot then go into the time chamber, watching closely to make sure Vegeta and Nappa don't sabotage them at the last second. The 2 enter with the gear that Bardock gave them and begin their training. During this time, the other humans make a choice. Yamcha and Krillin had to become androids as well. Now that they had more time, the process could be longer and more meticulous for them, therefore they'd become even stronger. Tien as well would need some enhancements. He received the quickest android procedure to begin with, but he needs to get even stronger. The 3 of them all entered chambers in Bardock's labs and several autonomous bots rushed around as the process began. At the same time, Kakarot and Raditz are working hard to surpass not just Vegeta and Nappa but Cell as well. This is when their Frieza DNA starts to shine. The progress they make in this time is almost alarming. The 2 unlock the next stage of their transformations in the chamber, Gold and Super Saiyan 2. Not only that, but they know that something else is in store for them. When they train and power up into this form, they can feel the next stage but struggle to find it immediately. After a day and a half, Kakarot and Raditz reveal themselves. The two Saiyans look like new men. Both are wearing some extra Saiyan armor that was stored in the capsule, and they have still focused faces. The next people to enter will be Bardock and future Trunks. Here Bardock almost takes the boy under his wing. The way he fights is very raw and untrained. You can tell that he's had some form of training, but it's nothing too impressive. He faces the bots that Bardock brings in and struggles against them. However, his Saiyan blood means that he grows from every fight he gets into. Since he's a hybrid Saiyan as well, his growth rate is tremendous. Bardock is training himself and also making astounding progress for a Saiyan. He's brought in a number of Senzu beans, and so the two of them can receive Zenkai boosts almost immediately after long and tough training sessions. After they exit, the humans decide to head in. Krillin and Tien head in together, with each of them having the idea of creating new techniques. Krillin has an idea for his solar flare technique, a way to blind people even if their eyes are closed. Along with that, Tien has to form a stronger version of his tri-beam. This means their training isn't spent battling like Saiyans, but meditating and thinking. They try different things and learn from each other to try and get a better understanding of ki control. By the end of their training period, they have something. Krillin has intensified his solar flare to form his special technique earlier, the solar flare times 100. Tien has also developed a stronger form of his Neo Tri-Beam. It's more similar to Piccolo's Light Grenade and Bardock's Ultimate Blast, where it takes a lot of time to charge but is very powerful. His infinite stamina also means it can't tire him. He can use the attack endlessly even if it is slow. The group take these last few days then to rest. They have their bodies in the right place but need their minds there as well. 10 days soon pass and everyone is ready. Future Trunks has longer hair than before and has tied it back. He is stood beside Kakarot and Raditz, and then there are the group of humans, Yamcha, Tien and Krillin. The group come together at the edge of Cell's gridded arena and the first fighter takes the stage. This is Bardock. "Greetings, Cell," Bardock says. "Bardock," Cell replies, with his arm still behind his back. "I just wanted to say that you made a grave mistake here, Cell. Us Saiyans thrive with time. Give us the opportunity to train and we will catch up to you. You had the upper hand before, I admit that, but that is no longer the case," Bardock explains. His gleaming silver suit assembles across his body and he makes his stance. "I see you fixed your suit, but I can still destroy it again," Cell shouts. Lifting, his wings buzz as he flies forward. The fight is on. Bardock aims forward one fist and releases a powerful shockwave. However, Cell flips right over it and drives down a foot to kick him in his helmet. The impact is strong and sends the Saiyan down onto his back. With him down, Cell looks to finish the fight off right here. However, Bardock shoots up his plasma beam, forcing Cell to lift a hand and block it. Even in this perfect form, Cell looks to be in pain from this concentrated beam. It leaves his skin scorched and he shakes it off after, but then kicks Bardock in his side. Heavy physical trauma received. Large contusion and fractures detected. "Yes, I detected that too," Bardock states, before lifting. Instead of charging in again, he starts doing something odd. He begins to run in a ring around the arena. He does so in an explosive, swift manner and uses his suit's servo system to keep him rushing around in a rotational way. He has the arm closest to Cell extended and pulling these key strings around the bio-android. At first, Cell can just rip them apart and pull at them with his raw strength. However, Bardock begins using both hands and lifting into flight to circle him more quickly. Soon, the rate at which the strings are lengthening and trapping him is just too fast for him to free himself. They grow incredibly tight and trap him. Everyone in the vicinity can't believe what they're seeing. Bardock might be weaker than Cell, but he's used his own intellect to gain the upper hand. With Cell strapped down, Bardock launches a full power shockwave at him, leaving Cell disrupted and irritated. After using that attack, Bardock began to use his ultimate one. The blast fires off with intensity and strikes Cell directly. The entire area lights up and half of the arena is shaved off. Along with that, Cell's upper half is destroyed just like before. Bardock spent this time upgrading his suit and growing stronger to try and make this attack work. It had already caused so much damage when he used it on Cell 10 days ago, so surely it could work now. Some of the humans watching thought that might have been enough. However, they can see that Cell's healing process begins. His upper half forms up again and he's returned to normal. Cell, after taking that attack, is short of breath and angry. Half of the strings around him have scorched off, so the bio-android rips through the remaining strings. Now he looks rageful. Darting toward Bardock, he grabs him by his chest, then knees him in the gut. Bardock, even in this tough metal suit, can feel every single punch, every single kick. Cell elbows him in the face and knocks off his whole helmet from the force. Then he punches him right in his nose and snaps it before landing another that breaks his cheekbone. Blood shoots out from the Saiyan's nose and mouth and he stumbles down to one knee. The group had hope, but they can tell that the fight is now over. Cell grabs one of his arms and throws it, causing him to spin around. After that, he kicks him in the back and launches him right off the arena. Bardock is defeated. Who's next? Cell asks, smiling at the group. The group start to talk amongst themselves about who wants to go next. They know that their best chance is with Kakarot. Raditz tells them all about what he saw in that chamber. It was insane. He has potential way beyond his expectation. If there's anyone that could do it, it's him. Kakarot steps up onto the arena and faces Cell. He's already had his father Senzu been giving him a 2x power boost. Cell enters a battle stance and so does Kakarot. Powering up on the spot, he powers up into his new top form, Golden Super Saiyan 2. With a 2000 times total multiplier, he's grown immensely powerful. Dashing forward, he leaves a series of after images that leave Cell confused for a moment. Then one of them pounces and strikes him. Cell doesn't even see the attack coming and takes the hit straight to his jaw. It knocks his head back and he manages to block the next one, but there's something different about Kakarot. He's grown tremendously powerful. Cell throws a downward elbow aiming to hit Kakarot on the top of his head. However, he steps back and launches out a blast to knock Cell away. The two fighters charge forward again, clashing their forearms. The impact is so loud and strong that the arena cracks apart and debris is sent flying around the place. They begin exchanging blows and slowly upping the gears. At first, it looks like Kakarot is fighting on an equal basis, however, Cell starts to edge him out. It starts off with him landing one more shot in their exchanges, catching him with a hit in the weak spot of his guard. However, this evolves into complete domination from the bio-android. Kakarot throws out a jab, but Cell taps it away and lands a monstrous punch. Then he lands a strong liver punch before swinging out his elbow to strike him in the chin. He continues firing attack after attack and the Saiyan can barely keep up. He reaches out both hands and blocks the next hit, but then receives a swinging kick to his chin that drops him. The hope of the group really starts to dwindle upon seeing this. 10 whole days and this is what you give me. I know, right? Awful, Kakarot says back. He says so with complete confidence in himself and calmness. It's a little weird to hear at first. Why would this Saiyan be so confident? He's about to lose this fight, however Kakarot's been hiding something big. You think I went in the Cham Chamber for nearly 2 years and came out like this? Really? He asks Cell. This only confuses him. I mean, he can tell he's grown significantly stronger. You can't comprehend him getting any stronger really. That's when Kakarot smiles. Let me show you a little something, he then reveals, powering up. His hair then begins to grow in length and the ground grows very unstable. This isn't just like the earthquake they felt on the island before, it feels like the ground is going to cave in on itself. Many people in neighbouring cities are terrified at what's happening. Glass windows on towers are shattering, covering the streets in glass debris. The chaos is growing intense. Every major news headline is commenting on this. Even the Z-fighters watching this are in awe. The only person with a straight face is Raditz. This straight face soon changes into a prideful smile. Kakarot screams and reveals his new form, the Golden Super Saiyan 3 transformation, an 8,000 times total multiplier. He stares down Cell with glowing golden eyes and slowly walks toward him. Cell tries to keep him away with a quick ki blast, but Kakarot knocks it away with ease. It flies off into the sky and detonates, then the Saiyan pounces. He punches Cell right in his chest and breaks several bones. He makes the man cough out blood, then he swerves around to land a swinging kick to his back. This knocks him onto his knees, then he lands a clean and snappy punch to his jaw. The impact is so strong that it leaves Cell almost knocked out for a time. After about a second or so, he returns to consciousness and flies off after taking that hit. His confidence has vanished in under 3 seconds. He just can't understand what is happening right now. How has he been humiliated so easily like this? He was programmed to believe that in this perfect form he would literally be perfect. There would be no stopping him. Cell shouts with anger and dives down. He just can't accept this loss. His punches hold more desperation and emotion. He's no longer fighting from a mental high ground as if he's fighting inferiors. He might just be the inferior one now. Cell continues throwing punches, but he just can't hit Kakarot. He can slip past every single attack with ease. He just cannot be hit at all. He continues to slip around the place with an annoying fluidity and swiftness. Kakarot leaps away from him and the two take a short break from the intense battle. This wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be impossible. Instead of being left frozen and defeated, he becomes furious. You think you can beat me? Let's see how well you do with that on Earth, Cell roars. He pulls back both hands and starts charging a full power Kamehameha wave. I'll destroy everything you've known and loved. You might be a strong warrior, but let's see how you fare in the abyss of space, he roars. Kakarot lifts a single finger and then launches a small beam of ki. Just like Frieza's death beam, it fires through Cell's chest and the blast disperses. He remains frozen in position for a short moment before falling onto his side. He coughs out blood and holds his chest in agony. Well, that was very anticlimactic, wasn't it? Kakarot says, walking over to him. Wasn't it, Cell? He then asks, before just laughing at him. Raditz can't help but chuckle. Kakarot can't do a thing to suppress that cheeky nature of his, even in a time like this. I was thinking I could keep you alive and trapped or something, but I can see that there's no need, Kakarot realizes. Aiming both hands down, they glow, then he fires off a number of powerful ki blasts. The arena is destroyed and the entire area starts to break apart. Those watching the fight must back away to get out the blast zone. Kakarot thinks these are just some casual ki blasts, but the earthquakes start up again. Soon they stop and Kakarot looks around with a little surprise. Where did everyone go? Below him, every part of Cell is gone. The Saiyan has broken him down even at the cellular level and there's no coming back for the bio-android. Dr. Gero's plans have been completely foiled. Some of these fighters feel a little bummed out because they trained quite hard to not even fight themselves. What is coming next though is the long 7-year time skip in between the Cell Saga and Buu Saga. By this point, Bardock is getting quite old. Raditz will be 42 at the beginning of the Buu Saga, and Bardock had him when he was 30 I assume for his what if, so this makes him physically 74 by that time. Of course he hasn't reached the same point of extreme aging yet, but that's around the corner. That's in the future though. Now he's still working extremely hard on his tech. His bots are getting stronger, his understanding of genes is getting better. Not even that, but he's getting to the point that he's got AI minds smarter than him working alongside him. This is all at the grace of Dr. Gero's discoveries. During this time of peace, he found Dr. Gero's lab and searched through the entire lab to learn more from him. That's when he found his supercomputer, an intelligent AI model that could help accelerate his findings. During this time as well, Vegeta and Nappa end up rethinking their revenge. Nappa has grown tired of it. He hates that they humiliated and overpowered him in the past, but there comes a point where you just let it go. It just isn't worth it anymore. Vegeta took it far more seriously, however. He pretty much obsessed over it. It was everything to him, but that was until he met Bulma. That's when he calmed down. That's when he realized that he couldn't let it consume him. He still trains and wants to overpower the other Saiyans, but he has calmed down for sure. Once Vegeta is with Bulma, this almost brings Vegeta and Nappa into the group. They start to meet the others in non-hostile ways for things like kids' birthdays and other events. This leads them to calm down even more. There are times when they heat up at places, and sometimes fights do break out, but it's a lot tamer than it once was. The World Tournament is on the way, and Vegeta has been spending a lot of time to prepare for this. He's been taking things slow and calmly recently, but this is where he can turn it up. Here Gohan still participates. Now his life has gone completely differently to how it did in canon. In this timeline there's never been a point where he's had to fight for his life against a really strong foe. He's always been training out of sport and due to his great talent, that means that he's still quite strong. Stronger than you'd expect. I'd place him above even Mecha Frieza from his training, but not quite at the level of canon Cell. I'd put him around the strength of canon semi-perfect Cell. Gohan does manage just a basic Super Saiyan transformation here and it's very difficult for him to maintain. His body just isn't as well conditioned in this timeline and as a result Kibito isn't as impressed. Yamu and Spopovich go in to attack him but things are already different. Bardock has had his bots surveying them for a long time and already knows where Babidi's spaceship is. One of Bardock's bots arrives on the arena and swats Spopovich away with a light kick, then all it takes is a light shockwave to knock Yamu off his feet and more than 20 meters away. Then this bot shoots out the same key strings that Bardock manufactures. They wrap around the fighters and the tournament is pretty much done right there. Bardock alerts the other Z fighters to what is happening and they head to the spaceship that has been found. What is even happening here? Kakarot asks as his hair flows under the slight breeze. I'm not that sure. I found this guy's ship not too long ago and I've just been watching over it. Nothing much has happened and I couldn't find anything on it at all, Bardock explains. Bardock has his suit assembled here and it's a totally different suit to the one that he used back in the Cell Saga. He's given it a bunch of different upgrades. Dabura reveals himself from the ship and rushes up towards Kibito. He aims a hand at his chest but Kakarot grabs his hand and aims it up. The blast just fires up and then he snaps his hand with a simple pull. With a broken wrist, the Demon King screams in pain and tries to free himself but cannot. Kakarot slowly pulls such hand down and maintains a strong terrifying glare at him. Dabura begins to tremble with fear. He can feel that the end of his life is near. Kakarot spins and howls him down before leaping down and kicking him toward the ship. Your friends were going to hurt my son, Kakarot shouts out at him. Come on then, he then says, smiling. Show me what you've got. Come on, let's go, Kakarot continues, signaling for him to advance. Dabura stays still for a moment and weighs up his options. Instead of running, he accepts his offer and shouts, charging forward to continue the battle. He throws a punch, but Kakarot just steps past it and evades. It moves like a snail to the Saiyan. Another comes his way, but just in the same way he can evade. He grabs the next punch and spins it away before striking at the Demon King's side. It leaves him winded and terribly hurt. He sways to the side a little before his legs give in. He falls and Kakarot lands a vicious kick to his head to knock him out. Alright, we're done, he says, in a surprisingly bubbly tone back to those watching. It's a bit weird how cheery the guy can be since he can fight so well and brutally. They enter the spaceship and Babidi pits them against the different fighters he has in store for them. The first is Pui Pui, and Tien is all they need to deal with him. "You're a fool for choosing this fight, you should have at least got the sense to fight me," Pui Pui claims. Now Tien can feel this gravity. He's never trained in gravity chambers and didn't live on planet Vegeta, so he can feel it. That's all the sensation is though. He can move his body relatively freely and feels no real strain. Pui Pui goes in to attack him, but his strike just bounces off his chest. Tien just lands a quick punch and that's all it takes. The man is defeated. Next, Raditz faces Yakon, and all they need is his transformation into Golden Super Saiyan to give Yakon too much light energy to absorb. In doing so, he explodes and is defeated. The last fighter is a weakened Dabura, and Bardock takes him on. The suited up Saiyan covers his head with his helmet and stands firm. His suit is no longer silver but a darker matte colour. There are some black areas, some dark blue areas and some dark grey. Then there are the holes for his eyes that glow a pure white. Dabura starts the fight and dives down toward the old Saiyan. He swings in for a punch, but Bardock just shoots out a strong shockwave at him. His shockwaves are even more powerful and make the demon's ears bleed from their intensity. It also throws him off course and throws several rock pillars before he lands on the ground. Bardock slowly descends, and as Dabura rises, he takes a strong fireball to the face. It knocks him down and scorches his skin as well. Bardock slowly walks to him and Dabura crawls away from him. It's all he can do now. Each movement is clearly painful for him, but he powers through and continues trying to escape. As he continues falling back, Bardock just continues walking him down. Lifting a hand, his palm starts glowing and the white blast fires out. It hits Dabura and lights up the entire area. Once the light dies down, Dabura is completely gone. Bardock is teleported back to the ship and Babidi finds his target, Vegeta. He attacks his mind, causing him to drop to his knees. Those around immediately look alarmed and don't really know what's happening. "What's going on? Do you know?" Bardock asks his systems. Something is off about his brainwaves, but other than that, I can't detect anything, a voice calls out in his suit. He turns Super Saiyan and grabs his head, then pulls at his hair as he shouts. Lifting into flight, it all stops, then he lands. Majin Vegeta is born. He smiles at the crew menacingly, and everyone is then teleported to the World Tournament. "What is going on here?" Raditz asks Vegeta. "Don't ask questions, fight me," Vegeta shouts, pointing at him. Raditz looks to the others and the large group of fighters are all pretty confused. However, Vegeta seems very serious. "I'm not going to fight you, Vegeta. I thought you were over this," Raditz states. "Over this? How could I be over it if I haven't won anything? How can I be over it if you're alive?" Vegeta aims at the crowd and grows a ki blast. "Raditz, they're not a part of this. Don't do it. You know it's wrong," Raditz pleads. Vegeta just laughs in reaction, launching the blast. As the golden blast fires off his hand, Krillin's Destructo Disc slams straight into it, slicing it in half and detonating it. It then flies off into the sky and disappears. "Quick thinking, Krillin," Tien says. Raditz grunts with annoyance. He knows that Vegeta is not going to take no for an answer. As a result, he accepts his fight and the two of them go off to start their fight. Majin Vegeta and Raditz face each other. Raditz just shakes his head lightly. He cannot be bothered with this. Vegeta powers up into his Super Saiyan 2 form before flying straight at Raditz. Raditz enters his Golden Super Saiyan form and blocks his first punch with a single forearm. He then steps out the way of his next attack, then leaps up and off the rock he was on. The fight has begun. Vegeta continues with a true sense of focus. He doesn't let his opponent out his sight. Raditz continues on in a more defensive way. He parries and blocks hits but rarely dishes them out himself. He continues flipping around the place and then grabs Vegeta's next punch. The Majin throws another and Raditz catches it all the same. "Do you not see?" Raditz asks, before pulling his arms down and kneeing Vegeta in his chest. The attack knocks the complete wind out of him and leaves him in terrible pain. Raditz then punches him in his face and knocks him off the pillar they're stood upon. Raditz leaps down and lands beside him to just kick him again. Vegeta is not taking these hits well at all. He wipes his face to see blood gushing out his nose and mouth. "Forget about this trivial revenge," Raditz shouts, before kicking him again. "Kakarot is stronger than me. Way stronger than me. Do I let that consume me and train every minute of every day to try and surpass him? No," Raditz shouts, before grabbing him by the neck of his shirt. "There are more important things in this world, Vegeta. More important things than just power and needing to win and everything." "You're weak," Vegeta shouts, shoving him away then slamming a ki blast right into his face. The attack is strong, but Raditz just shakes his head with anger, and anger alone. The attack doesn't really hurt him. He then rushes forward and grabs him, slamming him through a whole rock pillar. Raditz then punches him in the face and again. Vegeta coughs out blood then receives another punch to his face. The long head Saiyan punches him again, then powers up into his Golden Super Saiyan 2 form and punches him again. This punch forces him further into the ground, and Raditz just punches him again. He's grown tired of this needless conflict. "I've got a family now, Vegeta, so do you. There are more important things in this world than just fighting and fighting. We're not primal warmongering Saiyans anymore. We're warriors, yes, but there's no need for this extreme competition." Vegeta can't even move anymore. He coughs out even more blood and continues just looking up into the sky. He's been defeated so badly that it leaves him with no words, just thoughts, a bunch of thoughts. Raditz can tell he has a lot to muse over and leaves him to it. He knows he hasn't caused him enough injury to kill him, so leaves him there. He walks out the crater he's formed and returns to his base form as he climbs. Once he nears the edge, a sharp, fast beam of ki pierces his chest, particularly his heart. It came from behind him, and he turns with shocked, still eyes. Vegeta stares at him before lightly chuckling. Raditz stumbles a little and loses his footing as the rock he stood on falls loose from the crater. Falling, he's knocked out, and that might be it for him. He won't have long before he's dead and gone. Vegeta's light chuckle then turns into an intense, maniacal laugh. Meanwhile, the others are standing before an odd brown ball. After the intense fight between Raditz and Vegeta, Majin Buu is summoned. Instead of letting whatever is to happen, Tien aims forward and launches his Super Tri-Beam. It takes a few seconds to get ready, but it soon fires off and flattens the surrounding area. Every fighter watching this has to lift their hands to block their eyes since the light is so intense. Babidi is even quite alarmed at how powerful that attack was. Whoa, you could destroy the whole galaxy with that thing, Kakarot says and laughs with disbelief. They think it's pretty much done. Tien turns and prepares to leave, but feels Kakarot's hand on his chest stopping him. Turning, he can see a pink gas collecting in the sky, condensing to form Majin Buu. No, he's back, Shin says, with a deep sense of sadness and fear in his voice. Do not worry, Shin, we'll get this guy for you, Kakarot says, cracking his knuckles. To be honest, I think the humans have what it takes to deal with this one. Go on guys, Kakarot calls out. The three androids nod to each other and start walking forward. It's go time. Tien stands at the front of the group, then Krillin begins. Hurling forward his destructor disc, it buzzes as it cuts through the air and slices Majin Buu cleanly in half. After this slice, it lifts and disintegrates in the sky. The two parts to him fall, but merge back together, and it's like he was never even hurt in the first place. Krillin then chooses to enter the fight himself. This is when we see the true abilities of the android humans. He lifts a cloud of dust from his insane speed and punches Majin Buu right in his large belly. Even with the high force behind the attack, it does nothing at all. His fist bounces off the pink fighter's gut, then he goes on to land a relentless combination of attacks. He continues to fire off with them. With his infinite stamina, it allows him to endlessly throw these attacks. Majin Buu though takes every single one, then backhands him. Krillin is literally launched off his feet and into the ground, and this prompts the other two humans to join in the fight. They both rush Majin Buu and try to attack him from separate sides. They might individually not have the power to take down Majin Buu, but together they might just get it done. Tien aims for a punch, but Buu blocks, before catching Yamcha's own. Tien can step back since he hasn't been held and launches a ki blast at Buu. He just swats it away before lifting Yamcha and slamming him. Next, he hurls a blast at Tien, who catches it just before it detonates. It strains his arms, they start shaking from how hard he must push. After a few seconds, it just detonates anyway, and he's thrown back with great force. He gets sent rolling and rolling through the dirt and now has scorched hands. There's no point in trying anything else. They can't win this fight with just hand-to-hand combat, and so must resort to something else to get the win. Tien aims both hands at Majin Buu in a triangular formation, and a bright white light forms in his hands. At first, nothing too odd is happening, but once the Kais feel the energy this human exudes, they get intrigued. The three-eyed fighter then roars with vigor, firing off the powerful blast toward Majin Buu. The shockwave from the blast knocks the other androids back, and Tien fires again. Majin Buu gets broken down into smaller bits, but the android just keeps on firing. He holds nothing back and just continues firing. He'll stop once he's bored. So that will conclude the 5th part to What If Bardock Was Like Dr. GERO. Please tell me something you liked about this part or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.